That should be.
All right, let's go. B, we live. Let's do it.
We live. Brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
What's up? Welcome y'all to the Full Disclosure Show, where we do how we tell it.
Tell it like a T.I. is.
What's up, y'all? I'm Derek Lamont Williams first, sitting here with Big Dick Daphne, Baba Rich Green, and Lisa, the little lady of the house.
Hello.
And thanks for joining us, man. How we doing, everybody? How we doing today?
Hey, man, it's been a great week. I woke up another day. Lisa, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I can't complain at all.
What's up, y'all? Yeah, so we right back at you, man. Hopefully y'all join us. Today we got some good topics. Hopefully y'all can join in with us in the conversation. We got the callback number. Drop that callback number on the Dick Daphne.
Hey, anytime y'all need to call in, 216-236-5032.
We welcome your comments, man. Anything y'all got to say, and holler at us, and we're going to set this discussion off.
That's how we do it. I guess we're going to start with ladies first, Lisa.
Ladies first.
What you got for us?
So today I'm going to talk about this book. Y'all know every month we do a book of the month. Last month was The Secret. So I do want to know what y'all think about that book. But this month is going to be They Stole It and You Must Return It by Richard Williams. This is a deep ass book. This book is another book that changed my life. It got me to really thinking about why we act the way we act and how slavery has really affected us. I didn't really know or really understand how much it affected us until after I read this book. This book is deep, and y'all gotta read it.
Hey, it's one of them books. I'm gonna tell you, like when I first read it, was a while ago. And you know how everybody should have that one book. Well,
Yeah.
Malcolm X was the first book I read on my own without having to, you know what I mean?
Do a report for this.
Right, without having to do a report, exactly. But when I fell on this book, and I was already on my way to consciousness. What I feel, I knew a lot about slavery and everything. But when they say they stole it, the it is, Lisa, tell me what the it is.
Our culture, you know what I'm saying, and our health, our black culture, everything that we were, they took it. And this book is telling you that, and it's telling you, you know what I'm saying, like now it's time for you to wake up and realize that the things that we are doing is not part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy because we confuse liberation with convenience. You know what I'm saying? We think that we're liberated, but really it's just a convenience. You know what I'm saying? And how the survival, when they were slaves, and the things that they were doing was a survival mechanism.
Survival mode, yeah.
But instead of we understanding that, we have carried that on throughout generations and generations. And now the survival mechanism that they were using then, we have now adopted that and made that our culture.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's deep.
And it's really messing us up.
It goes deep, man. It goes deep into the indoctrination and the brainwashing, what you call it. And it even goes deep into our sleep patterns.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It really goes deep. So if y'all haven't read this book, we about to get into it because it's stuff, that a lot of us know already, but I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't read it yet, please grab it. It's cheap. The paperback is only like $8.
I don't even think it was that much.
Yeah, and you can order it on and definitely read this book.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't read it yet, so I definitely gotta go. I gotta be one of those.
I ain't read the book in the month.
Hey man, I gotta be real with you.
Yeah, I know. I ain't good. You gotta find that time though. But it's a great book.
No,
And it's not a long, difficult read. Like one of my favorite parts of the book was explaining how during the slave time, how the master took the woman's power, the man's power from him, as far as being a man of the house, taking care of his family. And in African culture, that was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? It was an honor to take care of your family.
That's right.
So when, you know what I'm saying, the European invasion came, they would take the woman and they will rape her. They will, you know what I'm saying, torture her. And when the father, the man, would try to take up, you know what I'm saying, he would get beat, he would get castrated, he would get hung, killed, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to think about how the woman over time, how she would feel. Eventually, she gonna start feeling like my man can't protect me, so she gonna start despising him. You know what I'm saying? Then he gonna despise her for despising him. All the while the children is seeing this, so now they're gonna grow up and despise dad. You know what I'm saying? So now she looking for the white man to protect her, when really, you know what I'm saying, because of the situation that they're in, that is really her only protector is the white man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they made it that way.
So this book is a lot like the Stolen Legacy book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It really breaks down, and one of the things that always stuck to me in the book. One of the things that, you know, because a lot of stuff it talks about how they took our identity, our culture, you know, who we are. They took that. You know what I mean? And we have to return that to. That's what he's saying. We have to take responsibility to return that back to ourselves. But one of the things that he really pointed out, and I was like, whoa, it is a term called rationalization. And it was showing how we rationalize things that and make certain things that we couldn't do, how we rationalize in our heads, you know what I mean? Like as far as, you know, in Africa, in our African culture, we were, you know, we were fathers, we were strong, we were the heads of our, you know what I'm saying, our families.
I got you.
You know what I mean? And we were starch protector of our women. You know, we put our women on a pedestal.
That's right.
And then when you're enslaved, they took that away from us. You know what I mean? Where you couldn't be a man of your house. And they forced us to be promiscuous. They made us like animals. Like, you know, they made us have sex with women after women after women. And it talks about how when you emasculate like that, how you rationalize it in your own mind, and where it becomes a positive thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So then it turns into how many bitches I've been fucking. You know what I mean? And it's bragging, like, because you don't have no other choice. Where it becomes something cool to.
I got kids all over.
I got kids. I got 8 kids, and they all, you know what I mean? Where they rationalize this behavior because they have no control over it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And when I read that, it was a wow. And then it made me, one thing, I kind of knew it before, but it really made me realize how much everything that we do today comes from the culture of slavery that we lived for all those years. You know what I mean? And people don't realize how ingrained that stuff is into you. And when I
your DNA.
Yeah, and the one thing exactly.
It has literally, over time, it literally became a part of our DNA, the behavior that we have, you know what I'm saying, the behavior that we started doing because of the slavery. And it's like, after a while, the man was forced to make all these kids with all these different women. So, you know what I'm saying, in order for him to be able to deal with that situation, he started to detach himself from these families.
I got
you. Know what I'm saying? So he literally just said, fuck it, I'm not going to take responsibility.
Put his pride in something else.
Exactly. And so now, after a while, that becomes learned behavior, and it becomes the behavior. And now look where we're at now. You understand? So it kind of makes more sense when you read this book. It makes more sense why men act the way that they do. Some men act the way that they do, is why some women say and act the way that they're acting. They don't know any different. They don't know any better.
Yeah, and you know, another thing, man, that really hit me hard on this book. They even went as far as sleep patterns, man, and they talked about. And I haven't read this book. I remember when you came at me about this. I've been wanting to reread it. You know what I mean? But they talk about how in slavery, they worked us to break it. I mean, like it was 16, not 17, 18-hour work days. Yeah. Sometimes longer than that. And you only slept for 2, 3, 4 hours. And then how did you sleep? Because slave masters creeping in the quarters, and then sometimes they'll wake you up out the middle of the night and shit. You know, this was tactics that they used. They, you know, sleep deprivation, these things. Deprivation, torture. Yeah, exactly. And so even after generations, it went into why a lot of black folks suffer from insomnia, and our sleep patterns to this day You know what I'm saying? And it really made me think like, whoa, because at the time, you know what I'm saying, I was, you know, you had trouble sleeping, like you try to go to sleep, you end up staying up, wait, you know what I'm saying, sleeping late, whatever. And it breaks down that, like how, you know, if your sleep pattern after generation after generation after generation has been cut down, and then when you do sleep, there's not sleep at all, and you see a lot of people suffer from that now.
You do. I know a lot.
So it's down. It's even psycho. It's physical also. It's not even just oh man.
Every psycho.
Yeah.
It's like got it.
It's really it's so.
Who's the author of that book again?
Richard Williams.
Richard Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I like that name.
It is a catchy name. It's so deep, you know, and he even goes into how we accept the negative behavior. You understand, like the word nigga. You know what I'm saying? That was a word to demean us and to degrade us. But now we use that word to give us love. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you see your homegirl, like, what's up, nigga? What's up, my nigga?
That
you know what I'm saying? And we always, whatever was used against us, we always somehow seem to make it
took it as a positive, like eating chitlins.
Yeah.
Because you had no choice.
Yeah.
You know, you had no choice to eat the chitlins. You know what I'm saying? So if you got to do it, you have to rationalize it in your own head.
Correct.
To make it acceptable, just like they had to do slavery in the first place. They had to rationalize it into demeaning us and making us less than human for it to work. See, those are the tricks that we play in our heads, you know what I mean, to accept certain behavior that we want to do or we have to do. We find a way to rationalize it, find a way to make it work for us, and that's what we did. You know what I mean? That's why I love black folks too. I mean, because
persevere.
We survivors, man. We survivors, and nobody else would have been able to survive, and not only survive, thrive. You have to understand, even after slavery, black folks thrived.
Yes,
you know what I mean? With the Reconstruction era, we had
Reconstruction, Jim Crow, civil rights.
We had own communities. Even, you know, and people are like, well, slavery so much. We right after slavery, we had agricultural experience. We was doing all the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We own this country, and then, but they saw us thriving. And here comes, they couldn't have it. They couldn't bear to watch it. And so you had all that we went through, and we still coming out on the other side. Yeah, we damaged. We've been through like an abusive relationship. We damaged, but we thriving, man. And that's why I love this. That's what you know what I mean. I love about black folks.
Hey, shout out to Ray Goodman Jr., Latanya Lashley, James L. Rankin Sr., Bubba Strauss. How's everybody doing? Thank y'all for tuning in right now. You listen to the full. And matter of fact, Lisa, you tell them what they're listening to.
You listening to the Full Disclosure.
That's right.
And if you ain't been listening to it, you've been losing out.
Say that. And right now, what we're talking about, tell them about the title of the book. They stole it.
They stole it, and you must return it.
They stole it. You must return it. By the author Richard Williams. A suggested reading last month was The Secret.
The Secret. And I want to know what y'all think about that.
Yeah, what did y'all think about that reading?
These books is life-changing books. You know what I'm saying? If you read it and you really read it and pay attention to what the words are saying and take a full understanding into what the words are saying, it's going to change your life.
And you know, really, when you say that, I ain't going to say most books are, but that's, you know, we had to get back to reading. And that's what part of this is, you know, we talked about it. And I'm guilty of it too. You know, I need to read more, but I am a reader. You know what I mean? No doubt about it. I'm a reader. And, I grew up reading. I got my book, you know, just reading as a youngster, which I thought put me ahead. You know what I mean? Because I love to read. You know what I mean? So we need to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? Get back to reading books and fiction, nonfiction, whatever. Just get back to reading.
Yeah, I put a post up.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
And I saw a lot of people, and not they ain't share my post. You know how people take your picture and put it on their page. I always smile when that happens, but that's a compliment. You know, it's a compliment because I'm inspired by other people. You know, I try to, if I share something on your page, I try to share. But what I did is I shared a post with Ice Cube on it, and at least you commented on it, and it was like, cheat on your smartphone sometimes. Read a book. You know, it's a deep thing. Back in the day, they said if you want to hide something from us, what did you do?
Put it in the book.
Put it in the book. But in the pages of the book, you can hide it from us.
And sometimes, I mean,
Bless be to you too, Latanya. She said, "Bless be to the room,
Yeah,
y'all."
I see.
Shout out to you, Latanya. That's my girl.
you.
You know, you need to call in. That she's a psychologist.
Is she?
So yeah, she can speak to a lot of this stuff. So Tanya, if you can call in, 216-236-5032. We'd love to hear your opinion from a medical perspective. Go ahead, Lisa. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh no, come on, we gotta hold them thoughts. We gotta hold them thoughts.
But yeah, man, that book right there. It was. I read it like maybe 2 days too. You know, because once you start on it, you can't put it down, and it goes deep, a lot of deep into psychology. And I was, I was definitely affected by it. And we're gonna get into other books, and we're gonna try to put books out there. And I'm gonna get back to reading and take the challenge, y'all, to read these books. And even if you don't get it done in a month, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna discuss it. You still read them, you know what I'm saying, even if you're behind on us, because I'm gonna read this one again. And then we're gonna get into some more books.
I remember when you first read this book. You brought it to me. You brought a lot of stuff out of the book.
It's one of them books. It's one of them books where I suggest anybody I talk to, I suggest reading it. Yeah. I was like, man, if it's a book, read They Stole It, You Must Return It. It's how the books you always suggest to people. Just like what's the one book you always suggest to me?
The historical origins of Christianity.
And I
Walter Williams.
Yep.
The historical origins of Christianity, y'all. That talked about the 7 ecumenical councils, but right now we're talking about They Stole It, You Must Return It by Richard Williams. Is a suggestion by Lisa Burnett as needed reading. Last month she suggested The Secret, and I love that book, so I'll go ahead and get this book added to my repertoire. I mean, you got to have a library of books, and you can't do something like this, a show like this, and not be well read or keep up with some things, I mean, just in regular life, I always tell my kids, you learn more about yourself reading about other people. And that's the truest of the truisms, even if, I don't care if you read something crazy, some Mark Twain stuff, but read. Yeah. Especially with the way journalism is now, I could barely stand and read articles that people post now on social media. It's real hard for me to read some of this what's considered journalism now. Mm-hmm. So when you get to a book like this, somebody who did a lot of work and a lot of studying, who you could tell loved their people and just wanted to diagnose, why are we in a certain place? People probably think this happened by circumstance or happenstance. No, it was designed. Mm-hmm. They strip you of your pride, they strip you of your culture, they strip you of the things that make you feel human, and they dehumanize you, and then you start lauding the things that they use to dehumanize you, like the word nigga, or having kids out of wedlock, that type of stuff, that type of behavior. That's pretty deep. Hold on, Latanya just chimed in. She said, we need to lock into possibly starting some freedom schools in the area. I agree with you. I think it was a good foray what LeBron did with his third and fourth graders. And a lot of people are like, why did he pick those grades? We can get in that in another show, but that's normally when our kids' grades, when I say our kids, I mean black kids' grades start to change, especially black males, because that's normally when they introduce something called American history. And that's the first time a lot of these kids hear about themselves. Well, your history is much longer than slavery. The reason why you have a lot of black males in general that are disinterested in school is because they don't see themselves reflected in these books. And something like this, They Stole It, but You Must Return It, that could get you back to, okay, I understand now. If I wrote the books, I might not look at them as being racist or biased if it showed me in a good light. Yeah. So a lot of times when we talk about the program, it's things that were done back in the day that just is continued. I was told history is a pack of lies agreed upon. So especially when you're given that. I mean, look at what's coming up this week. Yeah. Tomorrow is Columbus Day. Yeah. They're looking at changing that name to Indigenous People Day, because now more people are really cognizant of the fact that this guy, he wreaked havoc. He wreaked havoc on this planet before he left. How are we putting him up there? And books like They Stole It, but We Must Return It gets you in the mindset of learning history, true history.
Yeah, I made my son read it.
And that's a good thing. So what was his thoughts on it?
He was really shocked. He was saying he didn't, what he thought he knew, he didn't. And I had already started speaking in his ear, telling him, You know what I'm saying? When I'm learning something, I speak in this. I mean, I talk to both of my kids. You know what I'm saying? But my son's a little older, so he kind of has a more understanding right now. And I can hear my daughter asking questions, and she's starting to ask the same questions he was asking. So I know she is starting to absorb in her. But when he read this book, he was saying he came downstairs and was talking to me, and like he didn't know half this stuff.
That's what we help.
He was saying he thought
They're not gonna teach it.
He said, "Well, Mom, they don't even teach us that. They don't even teach us slavery in school. They call it servitude, indigenous servitude, something."
Indentured service.
Yeah.
No, that's what the English and the Irish did.
That's what he knew it as.
Ours was a little different.
And you know what I'm saying? And it was what made me like, oh no, you got to read this book, because he said, "Well, who's Martin Luther King? Is he the guy that did this or the guy that did that?" And I was like floored that he couldn't remember who Martin Luther King was. I said, "Well, what are they teaching you in school?"
Are you joking?
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm dead serious.
He didn't know Martin Luther King.
He couldn't remember who Martin Luther King was.
Because that's the one they're gonna push on you because of his peacefulness. But you see, even when you come in peace, you get knocked in the head. Hey, LaTanya just said something. She said, "Makes Me Wanna Holler" by Nathan McCall. That's something that we need to listen to. Let's shout out. Hey, y'all, I want y'all types on the altars. Y'all know. I mean, George G.M. James. You know, that's the Stolen Legacy, if I'm not mistaken. You know, Nile Valley Civilization. I think that's him as well. You got Francis Cress Welsing. Mm-hmm. You got Dr. Claude Anderson. Mm-hmm. You got Walter Williams. You got Shianta Diop. You got obviously Dr. John Henrik Clark. You got Dr. Yosef Ben Yakimin. Come on, y'all. Who some?
I mean, you know, watch them. You know what I mean? I wanted to get back on the school thing because you know what I mean? And that's the one thing about y'all just talking about slavery being brushed over in school.
Thank you,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, when I was in school, they tell you slavery started such and such date, ended such and such date, Abraham Lincoln, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You don't really get to understand the psychological and the physical torment. They don't go into that. Mm-hmm. You know, now they had to, like when I remember when Roots came out and everybody was like, it was shook. It was the foundation. I remember we was at school and we was talking about the next day. We was already ready to be some white kids. We already knew it was going to be some bull by the first night. We come to school, we whoop it off, but even then they still didn't really go into the depth. You know, they just tell you when it happened, when it ended, and when you get into if everybody and see, I got a theory how to end racism. If you wanted to end racism, I'm gonna tell you right now on the Full Disclosure Show, I'm gonna tell you how we can end racism. If you had you need a comprehensive educational system that's mandatory for everybody in this country, from first grade to 12th grade, like science. You know how you have science in every level? Mm-hmm. You have a class, it'd be racism 101, and you start in first grade and you go all the way to 12th. Racism, just like math or science. And then because there's so many levels of onion that you gotta peel back. Yeah. So if you start, and you have to be real though, you have to teach everybody why slavery is, the what, why, when, where, and how. You know what I mean? Break it all down, the psychological, from both ends, the whole knot. And if you did that in a generation or two, you wouldn't have racism.
Say that.
So
LaTanya Lashley, keep the thought, hold your thought. LaTanya Lashley said, we have to learn who we are before slavery. Sean Xavier Allen named some more. Amos Wilson, Ivan Van Sertima, Asa Hilliard, Nahum Akbar. Thank you, brother. Hey, what's up, Ronika Phillips, Kenneth Smiley? Go ahead, Lisa, you're about to say something.
Do you think that would really can be a solution for those die-hard white nationalist families?
Because they're miseducated.
They're miseducated. It's miseducation.
They're miseducated. That's why they are the way they are. If you went from
real history,
they really knew the real story. Everybody. It would have to be mandatory. I don't care if you homeschool. I don't care if you're private school, Catholic school. That's the only way it'll work. Everybody in the country will have to be mandatory to graduate. And you will have to. And by the end, by a generation or two, you wouldn't have racism. But we all know that's not going to happen because the powers that be have too much invested in racism. They're the reason racism even exists. So they're not going to allow that. You know, because if we all came to the realization that we just all the same people, and then then we would all join together, and then the 1% wouldn't have nothing coming.
They couldn't pull the wool over our eyes.
Right. So that racism is intricate. It's intricate in the whole plan to keep us divided. But if you broke it down, because it's just ignorant. Them white nationalists. I just watched the video. I think we talked about it. There was a guy. He was getting interviewed. It was a white dude who he was on not the vibe. What's the Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah was interviewing him. And he was a white nationalist all the way on the right side.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was just about to mention that.
And he came into understanding that everything he lived was wrong. Everything he been taught is a lie. And it's like a shock. He was like, you know, you go through a time period where it's like, wow. And how he came on the other side. And if you watch, it's a video, if you check it out. And he talked about how, you know, it was to come to understanding that everything he thought was real was fake, was a lie. You know what I mean? So that's the case with the rich. I ain't gonna say the rich, the wealthy, the 1%, the elite. They know what it is.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? But they teach us. They're the ones responsible for the education system. And we got a call.
It's my brother New Fu. He has to call in on the other number though. He's probably calling in here. New, if you're watching, brother, call in on the 216-236-5032. Hey, I didn't mean to cut you off. Another thing that dude said is, he said, if you really want to fight racism, it has to be other white people that join in the conversation. He said they taught us how to basically dismiss black people when it's in an argument. But the hardest thing is dismiss other white people when they disrupt it. The thing is, Latanya hit it on the head. She said, but the education system was created by Rockefeller to control what was learned. It's the elitists that, as long as they keep the people in the middle, if we arguing about black, white, they collecting all the money.
Yeah.
And they playing the sides, and right now they're keeping it to where they have a majority in the country, so white people feel comfortable. I mean, it was something you mentioned Trevor Noah when he was talking about how Donald Trump is making white men seem like they're victimized. Like, wow, you could be playing for a crime you didn't even commit. Like, wow, have you tried being black in this country?
You don't say. Yeah, that has to be a horrible thing.
People, we need to understand that color racism is just an illusion. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really exist.
Yeah. Well, it exists in the fact that people believe in it. Anything that they believe in, people make tangible. So when they act upon it, it's not the fact that people think that they're better or they have these preconceived notions. It's the fact when people act on it. And that's the danger. Because you have a lot of ignorant people out here. And ignorant doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you don't know.
Right.
You know, so I'm not necessarily insulting one person or the other, because you have people on both sides or all sides that have extreme points of view. But if you break it down, it goes back to ignorance. If you don't know, the first thing what happens even when you come into consciousness, you mad as hell. You just want to tell the world, religion fake. And they been lying to you, and the Illuminati, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, black power, black, blah. But after a while, you get so mad that you pass anger. It puts you into action.
It do.
It puts you. But an angry motherfucker can get some shit done, but really, you're going to really tear up the foundation. So get angry and get knowledgeable. That's why I always say financial foothold. But Derek, tell them what they're watching.
You're watching the Full Disclosure Show with Derek Lamont Williams the first. What's up, James? What's up? We already said
Alicia was going
on with it. Little lady of the house, Lisa.
What's up?
And Barbara Dick Green.
Latanya just said another author is Anthony Browder, a friend of mine on Facebook. You know, Egypt on the Potomac. Anthony Browder is an amazing person, man. So we could talk about this all day, but we're gonna move it to the next subject. Dia, I think you got that.
Oh, we're gonna get in there.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Well, your boy Kanye. Talk about your boy Yeezy. Kanye West, man. Now look, you know, I don't get into
my
celebrity
fantasy, probably one of the best albums ever.
You know, I don't get into reality, you know, superstars and the celebrity stuff, but
hey,
you know,
TJ.
I think we put way too much clout into what some people say. But if you know me, man, I'm a psychologist. I just think Kanye West is an interesting case study, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in the sense, you know, that they talk about that he's transparent for one. You know what I mean? And he says a lot of things. So I just like to want to get into kind of like a profile in a sense. I want to talk about, you know, the comments he made just now. I also want to go into, you know, because we didn't have the show there when the whole slavery was the choice.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but, you know, I kind of want to get into all that right now. So, you know, first of all, you know, like the 13th. And he says some interesting, it's a conversation, he sparks conversation. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether you agree with the man or not.
TJ said he's just crazy.
But he is. He has, I mean, crazy is dismissive, but I think he has some kind of, bipolarism or something
He says
like
it's a superpower.
Yeah.
I love that line, by the way.
Right, so it is what it is. I don't want to dismiss him, that's crazy, but he definitely says some things that that cause a strong reaction.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if y'all like to get y'all thoughts on whatever on this Kanye.
Man, I'm gonna let the lady of the house first. You know, ladies first.
Well, let's get really on the 13th Amendment. He said the 13th Amendment should be abolished. He said abolished. And then, you know what I'm saying, he
later changed his stance
to
on
amendment, whatever, you know what I mean? So you can get into the 13th Amendment and what he said.
Well, Kanye, well, what exactly did he mean when he say abolish? Did he mean get rid of or just refine?
Well, I mean, take it. You can take it either way. Actually, I thought about that. I thought about really, do we still need it?
You know what?
Do we still need the 13th Amendment? I
mean,
because
apparently with the current regime in the office, I mean,
if they abolish,
they can put you in shackles tomorrow, man.
Yeah, if they abolish, I'm saying if they abolish it,
a law is only as strong as the people who enforce it.
I'll be ready to clock out tomorrow. I'm like, no,
Wait time. You staying here, and the rest of you Negroes, get your butt back.
I mean, but really, is the amendment?
We'll keep that check, by the way.
Is the amendment even really good at all? I mean, we had this discussion a few episodes ago.
We talked
so how strong is the amendment anyway? So did he have a point?
Some chosen snatched out.
I mean, I think he had when you get into, I think what he meant was, and T.I. spoke on it when you're talking about the 13th Amendment, which really put abolished slavery except for the prison system.
Sonny Jones Jr.
And, you know, what they're able to do is, you can't be a slave unless you're arrested for crime. And if you put in prison, it's still basically slavery. They can put you do what the hell they want to do with you. So I think that's, you know, Kanye seems like the type of dude that's just going to, whatever hit his mind, he going to say.
He going to say.
You know what I mean? I know dudes like that. You know what I mean? Right. So
related to
I think, I'm assuming that's what he meant was, you know, that aspect of it, the prison system, because that's one of the things that allowed them to feed us into the prison pipeline.
Man, see, you took all my sting away. Hey, TJ Toller just said bipolar to 1,000. And he's mad. I think after his mom passed, I feel the coup shaking my head. You know, but D, I would like to think that this is what he's talking about in the 13th Amendment, where it says that slavery is illegal unless you are confined to prison. That's why when we get upset and we see this slave labor going, like, you know, brothers, they working for companies like Microsoft and whatever, and then they get out and then they try to get jobs with those companies and they say, well, you got a felony. He said, wait a minute, I was doing this when I was locked up for you. Mm-hmm. I know how to do it. Some of their top people are people who are in prison. Mm-hmm. And you telling me that I can't get out the skills that I learned working for you? I can't get out and come work for you legally? Well, now you got a felony. No, you ain't have a problem when I had a felony when I was in prison. You got me looking at people's sensitive data records and all this other stuff, and now you won't hire me now that I'm out of prison. It reeks of hypocrisy. And Derek, you touched on it perfectly. I just want to dovetail off what you said. It's like it's an incentive at that point to imprison people because now you have an incestuous relationship with corporate America and the federal government when it comes to these prison systems. You got some of these prison systems threatening to sue the government because not enough people getting arrested. Yeah. It's not that, it's becoming less violence, less criminals. The things is people get more smart. There is a conscious movement happening on the planet where people are just waking up and saying, hey, I'm not going to be your cattle that you're going to use me for this. I'm not going to go out and do something stupid so you can lock me up. You know, so now you can have this forced slavery. That's why they make up these crimes, you know. So it goes. It's pretty deep. Lisa, it looked like you wanted to say something.
I don't think the amendment even really matters, because at the end of the day, if we don't have an uprising, then they're going to do to us whatever it is they want to do to us anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like because a conscious movement is happening, that pretty soon the amendment won't even matter, or the Bill of Rights, or the Bill of Rights. You said something's going to have to shake.
Do you think if they abolished the 13th Amendment, they would actually try to put us back in slavery?
I do, but
I do as well.
I think they would try to put us in slavery even without it.
I think they're trying now.
They're trying now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That is a new slavery. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, that is new slavery. We need to be all punched in the face for making our kids go to college and create all this debt, and then not having a job for them to come out to. I'm guilty of that. You know, and I know y'all guilty of it too. It's not anything to be ashamed of. It's just, okay, let's plan better.
Yeah.
I mean, we understand this, but why is it we're so affected by what's happening? We care about what's happening with Kavanaugh. We care about what's happening with Trump saying this and Trump saying that. But you don't normally see like Asian people coming out and saying anything. They can give 2 fucks less because they doing their thing.
Right.
They're like, hey, we're going to roll on you regardless. We have to get that mentality. Let me tell you something. The government need us way more than we need them. This economy don't work without our black skin. They've convinced us that we're some kind of second-class citizen. We're only second class when it comes to getting loans from them, when it comes to getting in their banks, when it comes to walking down the street, when it comes to getting stopped and harassed by police, and when it comes to this legal system. But when it comes to spending money, you are A1, number one, first in fucking seat class people. This whole economy it worked off the black back. If you go back and you start reading my man Claude Anderson, Black Labor, White Wealth, ain't shit changed. This whole economy works off of black backs until we learn how to take our money and keep it in our own communities. I think we talked about this. Was integration a death sentence for us? Yeah, it was. Because now we don't spend our money with each other. We just took our dollars out and we ain't came back. We need to come back. You can't affect what was powerful.
I was about to go. I was about to go.
What's up, Otis Hope? What's up, Al Herrera the Dread? I got your call late, brother. Mo Time, Brent, what's up, man? I'm glad that you got out the hospital. Whatever was wrong with you, I'm glad to see that you're feeling well. Sean West, what's happening with you, baby? Roland Norman, what's going on with you, little bruh? You know, that's my fam right there from way back in the day. Johnny Jones just said, what's up, black family?
What's up with it?
TJ Toller said, I feel that, bye-bye. That's right. What's up, TJ? Side note, Lisa, your makeup is pretty. That's wonderful.
Thanks.
One more time. What's up, Mr. Green? Al Herrera the Dread. What's the call-in number? Hey, you know what? I did abuse that. 216-236-5032. We'd have heard ourselves enough. We know what we feel about this. We want to hear y'all. 216-236-5032. You are watching. Tell them who they watching, Lisa.
The Full Disclosure.
That's right. You're watching The Full Disclosure. You got Lisa Burnett. Got your man Big D Will over there. And I'm your man Baba Dick Green. We're talking about right now, what we're talking about is Kanye and his comments about abolishing slavery, which he said he misstated.
Right.
They said he need to go back and he need to study. And now we're talking about, was he saying amend it? Or the fact that, should we even need it? We saw how they feel about their women. They don't love their women. And the women don't love them. 52% of their women don't love themselves. So we always like, we hate ourselves. I hope that you see it's not just you, black people. You see, it's a self-hate that goes on amongst all races. It's not just us.
I think it's the way they just put it out there in society. You know what I'm saying? That we all, they make us hate ourselves, because you see all these different images that nobody in real life can live up to, because it's airbrushed, you got makeup, you got shadows, you got liposuction filter. So nobody in real life really looks like this. So when we can't live up to the standard, we begin to hate ourselves. But I also want to backtrack into something what you said.
Let's do it.
You understand when you was talking about wealth and how we are the strongest people.
This economy is run off of our backs.
Right.
It is, yes.
And I think the way that when we had our own stores, we had our own bus line, we had everything.
So Michael Johnson.
They always come in and take it from us. And I think that's because they fear we have so much power, is that we're going to overpower them with our wealth because we have so much power. So that's why they keep coming in and shutting us
Snatching it
down.
down, snatching it away from us. I agree with you. Okay, we got an unknown caller coming in. Caller, you on with the full disclosure? Who calling in?
Hey, this is the brother I read. What's shaking?
Hi, Red. What's going on, bro?
Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum, brother. Assalamu alaikum. Hey, man, it's one of the realest cats in the world. Hey, brother, you've been listening to the show. I want you to chime in. What you call to talk about today, my brother?
Hey, well, the first thing that I wanted to, chime in on about it, and I really respect what y'all doing.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Okay, now the first thing I want to touch on the very unnecessary need for the semantic wordplay for the word abolish. There is
Okay.
no need to try to speculate and interpret what abolish means. Abolish means get rid of. It doesn't need to go any further than that.
Let's say that.
They have a study of words. I think it's called etymology.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's so they works.
Origin of words and things like that. So
right.
there's no need for him and how with that. Now, the other part that we were speaking about that I heard that Baba, you hit very well. You said, hey, you know what? I have a plan that will end racism. And the thing about it is many people have died and they will continue to kill before they let the mechanism that they benefit from
Stop. You stop.
be interfered with by the truth.
Right about that.
So they ain't got no time for the truth, Red.
Yeah, I fully understand. This is one thing that I'm 100% blessed with, and I carry this blessing over humbly in the understanding of people who are just coming into this movement. Fortunately, my bloodline, my family, and this and that, whatever, I've never had to debunk any high school information or lies or things like that because my family, they were mathematicians and they were, students of it and studied of it and paid with their lives back right here in Cleveland. Right here in Cleveland, Black nationalists.
Okay, yeah, this what's up.
So there's a beautiful thing that I was blessed that I have to debunk through the Christmas and, all of the Christopher Columbus and, those things. So I do understand y'all coming into, but this is all I ever knew. So I didn't have to read it from a book. I didn't, they won't publish the book of the lives of the people that were here. So I didn't need to read a book about COINTELPRO. I didn't need to read neglect, redlining, all of these things that needs people to read, and we did it to ourselves. And the one thing that I do understand what a lot of people are not willing to do is pay for it with their lives for their future generations.
But you got to be ready to do that. If it comes to that,
They're not.
Doing this show, this put a red dot on all our heads. I mean, I hope y'all know this. You got people out there. I had somebody who is a mentor of sorts. And I went hard. I feel bad now because they older or whatever. But they wanted to discount what we were doing, knowing each other's pedigree. So they wouldn't. I don't know if they paid somebody. They went back and did research on all of us. So and came back and was telling me stuff that they shouldn't have known. But it's cool. I had a conversation with them. But that just lets you know that it's a threat. I'm not worried about that, just like, but one thing I like that you said, you didn't have to relearn anything. You grew up in the blackness. You grew up with that black nationalism. And you know what? I try to do it with, my kids. We come to that, but we taking some flack for that. When the holidays come up, we're not celebrating Christmas or we're not doing this, you might have moms, you might have dads upset that we're not buying gifts and participating in these type of things, but that's materialism. We're trying to tell them we in the realism. Hey, this is what's really going on.
Let me share experience on how my mother did it. Let me share experience. Now, by us being children, it was what she bought us. She bought us chemistry sets. She bought us instruments.
That's right.
You understand what I mean? We got books. We didn't go without clothes, but by my mother being, pretty much the best cook it was, everybody wanted to be there at our house to eat what we. And when we went over to our grandparents and they were drinking and doing the stuff, my mother brought her own stuff.
That's what's
You
up.
know what I mean? Because she didn't eat pork, this and that, whatever. We didn't spend any nights over there. We went to visit with the cousins. And then in longevity, when time came past, my mother being as wise as she was, all of the family members came through her home. She paid a hell of a price, though. She paid a hell of a price.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could be ostracized in the family when you speaking real. You know, it's people that love us. Don't get me wrong, Reg. You know, Derek, Lisa. You know what happened to y'all? People they speak well of you in your face, but behind closed doors, you that devil. Oh, here come Derek talking that black stuff. Here go Lisa with that uncle. Oh, she go watch out. She doing that black hoodoo voodoo. But the thing is, when you know yourself, other people's opinion of you doesn't matter. And the one thing that, and I hope we impart this as a team on this show, is that we have to elevate our level of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's not to say that we doing everything right or we saying everything right. That's not going to happen. We human just like anybody else. Mm-hmm. But if you walking away edified in who you are, you know, whether you black, white, green, or purple, I think the truth is the truth. And you should feel good. Even if the truth don't reflect you in a positive light, you still should feel good because you heard it. Don't get mad at us for telling the truth. You need to get mad at the person that's been telling you the lies.
Exactly.
So, Red, I just want to know when you're going to come on the show, brother.
Hey, well, I was trying to actually get with you and find out when I could slide through, man. I would really, you know, like.
And we love to have you, man.
Really bring some things.
We can't wait to have you.
We love to have you, man.
Hey, we hopefully in the next few weeks we have you on.
Okay, well, I go on call every 3 weeks, and that's the only time. That's why I didn't try to get you last week, because I was on call. But the next 2 weeks I will be on call from my job, and then hopefully we can get together and I can put some strategy together. You know, I see where y'all do, and y'all at this talk point and things that whatever, and we have to come in with the strategy, and the strategy is we have to infiltrate in open the mind already. And what is, I was sharing with my mother, the mind has already been conditioned. It's just most of our masses and flocks has been conditioned by another. That brain is conditioned. So just like when I took people through the 12 steps, you know, I've been recovered 17 years.
Congratulations on that.
In the 5-6 years, I ran into this epidemic of white young kids. And I had to very humbly go into meditation and say, hey, I don't have anything to identify with them. So what I did was, from that energy and meditation, I came in with what I didn't want to do. And so what we have to do is use psychology. We already know that they're already suffering from Stockholm syndrome.
Right.
You know, they're scared. Yeah. They're scared, and they're just conditioned to not say that they're scared.
That's it.
You know, and to the sister that's there, she said something very good. She said, hey, well, I'll take this over and share with my kids as I digest it. You know, that's a very, very powerful thing, because my mother, she did the same thing. But until our female counterpart really comes to understand that, from the English letters, Stockholm syndrome, whatever they did to any unruly Negro that was strong and standing up, they did that, and they filtered that through the system. They filtered it through the system. Now, this is the thing about it, it's not a like thing. So for us to really get a strategy together, we have to weed out the emotional ones first.
Hey,
it's going to be some things that are very uncomfortable.
Hey man, it's gonna be a lot of shook. It's gonna be a lot of shook people. And you know, one thing too, even though we give tidbits here, I think I'll always caution putting your whole plan out there, because when you put your whole plan out, people know how to stop you. Yeah. And but Al, why don't you tell everybody, tell them your name again, tell them where they can find you, bro.
Oh, my name is Al Harith, and I'm pretty much on Facebook as Al Harith the Dread. This form right here is something that will be totally different than you would see in any other social media. I tell my mother all the time, I don't let people know the threat of the intellectual that I am.
Hey, you can't.
I kind of just talk comment like everybody else. When we get this form, you know, I'm like Green Arrow. I'm gonna hit you.
We're gonna go. Hey, that's why it's full disclosure, baby.
That's full disclosure, baby. Tell like
thanks for calling, man.
Yo, that's Al Harith the Dread, y'all. Hit him up on Facebook. Go like his page. Go friend him up, brother. I expect to see you on the show within the next 2 weeks.
Hope to see you.
None but love. If I take them, you take them.
All right, love you, bro. That's my family right there, man. That's a real ass dude right there. Go ahead, D. You want to say something? Y'all, hey, tell them what they watching, Lisa, before Derek make his comment.
You watching the Full Disclosure show?
Hey, what's up, Teresa?
Hey, yo,
and
we had a few comments while that was going on.
I wanted to read this one, man, about Johnny Jones, where it led me to what I was thinking while my brother was talking.
All right.
He said, I agree with you, Rich. I don't celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, and my wife looks at me crazy. But my kids know and understand. But my wife don't think outside the box. I still love her.
Oh, that's my baby, Kamisha.
And I think, man, it goes to people, and something what you were saying, what y'all both was talking about. I was waiting. I kept it stirring.
Yeah,
People, when people are indoctrinated, it's a saying like when you get waking up, you're mad at the person that
woke you up. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and it's like people are upset when they see you living your best life. When they see you going against your indoctrination, there's a mechanism that's in place that
makes them almost hate you. They almost hate you. We got a caller calling in. Hey, caller, how you doing? You on Full Disclosure? You talking to Bob? Who's this?
Hey, this is Brother Brent. Man, you know what? Man, I ain't seen you in so long.
Brother Brent.
I was just talking to Terry the other day, right?
Hey, y'all, just so y'all know, this is my man Momo Town. Go ahead, Brother Brent.
Yeah, I was talking to Terry the other day, but you remember when I came in 2007?
Yep.
Man, you know, I learned a lot. We don't do no holidays in my house. I don't lost a lot of family behind what I do.
Yeah. You're gonna do that. Whenever you tell them the truth, you're gonna do that. Hey, y'all.
Yeah, so what's happening is, let me back up. What's happening is, I done lost a lot of family members, man, because I don't just believe in all that old crap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when it comes down to it, see, we need to believe in us. I was saying to someone, all this money we got floating in the neighborhood, why we can't buy one of the malls to where we can support our own people?
We could. The answer is we could. And with marijuana becoming legal soon, we could buy dispensaries. What we need to buy is a whole field where we can run our own stuff. Yeah. You know, we need to get ahead of that. And they need to release every brother that they ever arrested and every sister they ever arrested on the marijuana thing. But not just that, not something negative. Go ahead, Brent.
Anyway,
tell them about the African Village Farms that you helped start, bro.
Hey, but anyway, back when I was saying, I said, I'm listening to y'all. It's a lot of stuff. I need to know when y'all want to start directing another conscious group.
You know what? I talked to you offline about that. Let me give y'all some background. This brother, Brent, we go back, like he just said, he mentioned 07. Now, y'all want to talk about consciousness and all this other stuff. You know, we came together as a conscious group. Me, a brother named Terry Sanders, another brother named George Lentor. You know, we have my man Brent, Sean Xavier Allen, Sister Brenda Bayot. We also had Brother Sunlight. We had Jaleel, my brother Ross Tootie Bay. You know, if I'm forgetting anybody, I really apologize. Not that I'm trying to be rude. On my Devon Cheatwood, you know, we started the African Village in Cleveland. You know, when you want to talk about being conscious, we were conscious before it became trendy. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of Hotep and all this other stuff. We laid the groundwork, and it's not me being grandiose or claiming something. This is just what was going on. Derek, you was a part of that too. You know, we had people that, so many people that I forgot to mention. Brent, we coming back, baby. You know, I appreciate your call. How you feeling? I know you went to the hospital this week. You good?
Well, you know what? I had the doctor on myself, right? I wasn't trying to go and use that white man's medicine.
Hey, I feel you there, man. I feel you there. Get them herbs, get them herbs, get them teas.
Hey, look, I made to be 63 this year, so I'm doing pretty good.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
So look, I'm gonna reach out with you again, and I'll put my number here, but I got your number, but I'll give you a call.
You got my number.
Watching your video, let somebody else call in.
All right, hey man. Thanks for your support, brother. Love you, Brent.
All right, love you back.
All right, take it easy.
But yeah, I wanted to get back into that, man. You know, how people are, you know, program, and I got a theory, like when you're talking about, like, if you look at schools, that's like a microcosm of society.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about bullying, you know what I mean? You have to think, why do kids bully other kids?
Alicia Williams said something.
I mean, you know, you go as far as kindergarten, you see kids bullying
kids. Yeah.
And why is that? Because they're indoctrinated to see things different. If you don't have the same shoes that everybody else has on, they're programming. If you don't think the same way, if you don't dress the same way, if you don't look the same way as they've been programmed to accept, you will get picked on and you will get ostracized if they can't pick on you. You know, they try to bully you first, and if you fight back, they just won't mess with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's ingrained in their program.
Shit, that's how we learn how to play the dozens, man.
Yeah. It's ingrained in your programming. Like if you doing, that's why, you know, when women see other women, like, you see a big girl, you know what I'm saying? She got the tight spandex on, and she got her. When you see her so comfortable in her body, she's not supposed to feel that way.
So you try to make her uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. She's not supposed to be comfortable.
Looking like I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I'm a size 6.
It's like, nah, she don't need to be wearing that.
She's 16.
True, girl. If she's confident, if she's confident and she want to let it all hang out, let it all hang out. You know what I mean? And don't talk about that woman. You know that's our programming. She's not supposed to feel good about herself, and it goes to what you said. You know, they make money off our insecurities. They want you to feel bad so they can sell you the makeup. Mm-hmm. You can't wear man. You ain't pretty. You ain't pretty. You need this makeup.
You ain't rich enough.
Yeah, you ain't. You need this pill to lose weight. You need this doctor to liposuction. You need to get bigger breasts. You ain't you know what I'm saying, your butt too flat. You gotta get this.
You gotta get this.
Whatever it is, they want you to feel bad. You too light. You too white. You gotta get this thing. It's like your lips too small. Your lips too. Well, they're gonna make something wrong with you.
You are beautiful the way you are.
And then they're gonna sell you the cure. They're gonna sell you. Well, we can make you look like you want to look.
So all the time when I was in high school and I wasn't the winner at that particular time, all those girls that didn't have sex with me, y'all can have sex with me now. I want y'all to feel comfortable doing that. For real. Now go ahead, Lisa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just like the whole pharmaceutical company. They'll give you a disease, make you have the disease through the food, the water, and through the other medicines that you're taking.
They sell you the cure.
And then sell you the cure.
The treatment.
The treatment.
Yeah, that's the cure.
The treatment keep you messed up. You know what I'm saying? You can't understand why you can't get rid of this infection. Why you keep having this open wound. You know, I was once an aide. You know what I'm saying? A home health aide, and I would go to these people's house. And this lady, she would have the same wound, and she had it for a year. And I'm like, how do you live with an open wound for a year and be okay? And you keep taking the medicine. That's insane. You keep taking the medicine, thinking it's gonna change, it's gonna get fixed, but 6 months later, you still got the same open wound.
Yeah,
it's time to change.
Yeah.
Your way of thinking. It's time to change the things that you do. But if we're so used to a tradition, and if we don't have a reason to change tradition, or if we feel as if the reason isn't good enough to change tradition, then we're not going to change the tradition.
I agree.
So again, we keep having this cycle.
But just look how vibrant y'all skin is. Y'all went vegan, y'all both glowing the whole nine. My ass, I'm over here still eating bacon, sweating under these lights the whole night. How they gonna make me a BLT after this shit? Hold on, Alicia. Hey, Derek, tell them what they're watching. Tell them what they're watching.
What's up, y'all? You're watching the Full Disclosure Show with Derek Lamont Went first, little lady of the house, Lisa Burnett, and Big Dick Dashley, Rich Green.
Alicia Williams just said, when you're dropping knowledge that questions another way of set of thinking, it would always be a problem. And we run into that all the time, Alicia. You know, people don't know. She said, what's up, y'all? One more time. We don't celebrate no holidays. One more time. Hey, Lisa, nice aunt. Somebody just commented your aunt.
Thank you.
And real quick, man, I wanted to, you know, we kind of we was on track but off track. I wanted to get back on
the 13th
Kanye.
Amendment.
Well, I wanted to get back on with the whole slavery was a choice, when Kanye said slavery was a choice. And we remember we talked about it, and it was like, well, you know, in a sense, it was a choice. In a sense,
I can't argue.
But in the sense that if I'm getting robbed, you know what I mean, and a guy put a gun out on me and say, give me your wallet, I have a choice. I can give him my wallet,
or die.
or I can die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shitty choice,
I feel you.
but
Yeah.
it's a choice. And you know, I remember when he said that. And see, you see how we got off on this whole thing about the 13th Amendment, and the one thing that when you know saying shit like that sparks conversation. You know what I mean? The Magna hat I can't throw. You know what I'm saying? The whole Trump thing. But I think he just more or less. I think it's more like Trump is his friend, and not just, you know what I mean?
Kanye ain't all the way crazy either. If 52% of the country love that guy, he know he got 52% of the country that'll buy his albums.
Mhm.
I had a guy call. We posted something up, and it had nothing to do with racism. It was about Kavanaugh, and he called all the black people on there racist fucks. And you know, I had to appeal to that. I said, what about this is racist? I mean, you know, we dealing with a guy who's talking, he's raping or whatever. He's like, well, you know, you guys, you want to say this and that, and then look what they're doing to Kanye. My thing was, look what Kanye doing to himself.
Right.
So, you know, if you fight against tyranny or oppression, you're gonna vilify the person that's being victimized. You know, it's just when they blame victims for their own troubles.
Mhm.
But just like you said, it was a choice. The reason why they switched from the black Native Americans that were here to the Africans in Africa was because the Native Americans here, the black Native Americans here, would die. And they would kill your family. If they broke into the house, you know, Nat Turner had the right idea. He like, I'm gonna kill your whole bloodline. That's what they would do. Native Americans would do it. I'm gonna kill everybody. The Africans were a little bit more compassionate. They'd probably kill a person who was oppressing them, but they wouldn't kill no kids and all that stuff. It just wasn't in them.
And so real quick, I was going to pick the one thing Kanye didn't say, and the one thing that didn't add it, and they don't teach you in school, is there was a lot of us who made that choice, who didn't go into slavery, who fought back. You know, teach you about the Gullah Wars and all the rebellions and all. I mean, there were all kinds of slave rebellions. That was the reason.
1791, most successful.
That was the reason, the real reason why slavery was overturned. That's why they tried so hard, because they were getting murdered left and right.
Say that.
The rebellions on the ships. I mean, it was millions and millions fought back, but they don't tell you those stories.
No, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? They
don't make them a hero.
Yeah.
They want you to feel as if you was weak. You were weak. You know what I'm saying? That's that impression. They always try to give the impression that black people are weak. You know what I'm saying? We don't have enough mental power. We don't have enough physical power to take over and be for and do for ourselves. Me personally, I want to know what y'all think. Me personally, I think that integration was one of the worst things that happened to the black community. What do y'all think?
I mean, you're not wrong. It's wrong. I mean, my thought and there. I'm sorry. She looked at me, so I'm gonna jump on it. Financially, I think it was the wrong idea. To want to fit in is it's a crazy way of thinking that a lot of us. I've talked about this several times. The generation before us, they thought it was some sort of mystique for the dominant society to fit into the dominant society. Like they must have something on us. But I think the advantage we had, we can sit back and we can research. We understand how we got to this place. If you think that we got to this place just because God is punishing us, then maybe you feed into, okay, well, maybe if they accept us and we can go eat where they eat, or we can go shit where they shit, or we could do this, it'll be okay. We didn't realize that they changed the rules in the middle of the game in order for them to keep winning. This is monopoly with a moving target. Let's not get it mistaken. Let's not mistake this. They don't even support their own women. When I say they, I don't mean them in general. I mean, I'm talking about the dominant society. I'm talking about the people in power. You just saw it. Kavanaugh lied under oath. This is a judge going to the Supreme Court, lying under oath. But he could judge you? How about that black man that got stopped by the off-duty cop? The off-duty cop killed him. The jury found him guilty. They said, no, the black man ain't do nothing. You lying. They knew he was lying. The judge of that case did not listen to the jury. The jury said, award that man money. Award that man family money and arrest that officer. The judge was Judge Kavanaugh. He overturned that. So I'm telling you, you think you suffering with cognitive dissonance? You are just suffering what your slave masters gave you, or what the dominant society gave you. There's a lot of us who just not into that thinking. So, Lisa, I have to agree with you. It was one of the worst things. I mean, when you put it in the pecking order, I mean, you know, you got religion, you got integration, you got subjugation, you got redlining, you have slavery. Ranking them is too hard because they're all damaging.
It is.
But the one thing you can't fail to do as a person of color in this country, I'm talking to black people, I ain't talking to nobody else. Let's just be real about it. Study. Know your history. Know what you come from. Know how you got here. It was not by happenstance. Read Black Labor, White Wealth. And I know the book of the month is They Stole It, But We Must Return It by Richard Williams. We're going to read that this month. I like to say next month we put Claude Anderson on there. Derek, I digress, man, because it seemed like you had something on your mind.
No, I can't. I mean, honestly, we had to do a whole week on. I mean, we had to do a whole topic on this one. You know what I mean? I mean, because it's just real quick. Yeah, I think it was a mistake. I think it was a mistake. I think if you look how our communities thrived before integration, you know, how our community, you know, when we actually had a black community.
We really did.
And if you look at the numbers, you know, you look at the black dollar circulated through the black community 100% then, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
And we didn't go into the theory where the government was actually behind integration the whole time, and they actually, because the economy, the U.S. economy was actually suffering at the time.
It was.
And our economy was thriving. So, you know what I mean, we could get in a whole thing where, you know, they actually used Martin Luther King as a patsy because they couldn't labor integration. So they kind of used him to broker the integration, because as soon as integration happened, the black dollar immediately went outside the black community into the American community, into, you know, and we will actually cut ourselves off. So definitely, like you said, financially, our communities was definitely affected. I mean, I remember even when I was young, I remember every store in our neighborhood was black owned. I remember R&J's up there. You know, remember R&J's? Rich Paul's dad, you know, Rich Paul, LeBron's agent. R&J was Rich Paul's father. He had a store right up the street.
Right,
Dan was, I lived right up under Dan.
Woodside, Arlington, Edmonton, y'all.
You know, all that. Limbs, all black owned.
Every store was black owned. Every store.
So if you go back to when my back to, you know, the community was vibrant. Detroit.
Well, tell me what credit was back in the day when we grew up. What was credit? It wasn't necessarily going to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. It was if they knew you. And if they knew your family, they had a ledger system.
Yeah.
That your mama, when she went to the store, mama ain't always had money to pay for that. But her credit, because, I know you, Pat. Pat, you good. Joyce, you good.
Yeah.
Tracy, you good. I know you. That was credit in the hood. Then we went to they thing of credit. We had a community. We had our own dry cleaners. We had our own barber. You know those red circles, red and white things around the barbershop? That was to denote that guy has some sort of skill as a doctor. Yeah. So we couldn't go to the regular hospitals. We would go to the barbershops. You know, our community was a real damn community. We had our own movie theaters. We had our own production company. It was black movies. It was black. Yeah. It was like a black Hollywood at that time. Then we wanted to run and get the white dollars, you know? So we could talk about that. Alicia Williams just said something, D. She said, going back to what the other gentleman said, talking about True D, we are the biggest consumers. We spend money through good and bad times. Barbara Sarah, you remember growing up as kids, every business in our neighborhood was black owned. Derek, she hit everything you just said. We have people coming up here from other countries, getting the business loans, flipping the business through all of their family members, name and never paying taxes. We need to come together. We have the resources. Is she lying?
No, she's speaking nothing but facts.
You ain't said nothing but facts. That's 100% facts.
And that's not to say, I mean, when I say
what's up, Duran? What's
that
up,
integration was one of the worst things that happened to black folks, that's not to say, oh, we hate white people, we don't want nothing to do with white people.
But that's how they're going to twist it.
You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that after slavery, after everything that we've been through, we still don't know, we still didn't know who we were and where we came from. And we never had that chance. You know what I'm saying? Or we never had that chance to grow and to be and to have the same things as the Hispanic culture.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You go to the
because they stole it from us.
right? You go to the Hispanic culture, they got all kinds of stores, they got all kinds of restaurants, they got all kinds of things pertaining to their culture, and they're able to come to each other within their culture and help each other. And just like as in the Japanese culture, in the Chinese culture, you can go there. You go throughout the neighborhood, you see nothing but stores, and it's them working in there. In the restaurant, it's them working in there. But when we do it, when we have stores and it's nothing but black people, oh, that's reverse racism. They racist, don't go over there, they crazy, they evil.
And we buy into that. But see, why does that work for them, Lisa? Because they have what? You just hit the word. You kept saying it, the C word, culture.
Culture.
The thing is, when they stole your culture, when they brought you over here and gave you another culture, or when they took you out of your culture when you were here, because it was black people in America. Let's get this mistaken.
Before everybody else got here, we were
black
already
folks
here.
right here. So, you know, the Moorish Americans, you know, the Choctaw, the Blackfeet, you know, there's a reason why they got two type names, you know. But the thing is, they stole your culture. They took it from you. You know, we could talk about the $5 Indian. Why not? How did they come up with the $5 Indian term? It was white people paying $5 to get registered as Native Americans when they were doing things for land, as far as it was with the reservations, the whole nine. That's how you got the lighter skinned people in. But the thing is, they stole your culture. They stole all of your societal norms. They took it away from you. So we have nothing to connect us but our skin. So that's why I adhere to Pan-Africanism. And the only reason why I do that is it's more black people that identify with the African side. And, you know, I'm African. You know, I live in America, but I am African. I'm of African descent. You know, shoot, you know, tell my nappy hair that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't much up there, but you know, I still got a little bit right here. But the thing is, if that's what unites us, I'm not going to look for what makes us different. I'm not looking for the most right answer. That's why, you know, when, you know, I'm not going to break us up to groups, the Moors, the Hebrews, the Israelites, the Native Americans, the African American. No, you know what? My skin black, I start with that. Right. Let's start with the lowest common denominator. You look like me, let's go. Let's roll. You put that comb through your head, you hit a kink, let's roll. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Jones said, I think it was integration. I think integration was a bad idea because we thought it would bring us together, but they want everything and they don't care about peace. They want power. They fear what they did not, they fear what I'm sorry, Johnny. They fear what they did to us, we will do to them. I agree with that. They thought once we get on top, we will. Integration weakened our people. I agree with that. Terry Sanders said, religion is at the top of the list, hands down. When we were talking about what's the most, you know, detrimental to us, is at the top of the list, hands down. Get rid of that, and we'll begin to head in the right direction and to heal ourselves. So, I mean, you know, it's a lot of things that fall at the top of that, you know.
Well, it's the three major avenues they indoctrinate us with. Religion is one. Educational system is the one. And number one is the media.
Media, man.
The media is number one. The media is number one. And
we're the good guys.
Religion is like the media back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty big. It was the media back then. That was. Hear you. And so those are the three major reasons, the ways they indoctrinate. They indoctrinate us through the media. Every image that we see, the books that they want us to read, the things that we listen to, you know what I mean? Then you get to the religious aspect. They indoctrinate us into this religious culture and this way of thinking, you know, this belief system that bleeds into everything that you do, really. A lot of the indoctrinations that like the fact that people tend to want to worship leaders, that we like they need a leader. You know what I mean? I think that's like from the religious aspect, you've been programmed to just worship this leader, this God. Somebody is
outside of you.
Yeah,
outside of you, not instead of looking into yourself.
Right, you know, and it's
looking at your blackness.
And then the educational system, the school system, you know, they
reinforce it.
They reinforce it. It's all tied together. Them three major, you know what I'm saying, aspects.
And they try to fool you and say they separated it from religion, but they did. It's all one and the same. Hey, Alicia said, once again, she said, divide and conquer. A lot of our people still have that slave mentality. They don't mind you doing well, just not better than them. But that being said, if some of you see your potential is to be great, they won't help you. Cherry said gospel music is worse than crap rap. I don't know, you know, sometimes that gospel music ain't not the gospel against me though.
Sometimes the crap rap be good too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it be bomb and weed and it be, you know, make it feel good.
Lisa, tell them what they listening to.
You're listening to the Full Disclosure Show, one of the greatest shows on Facebook.
And I don't think she's biased with that. I don't think she's biased with that.
No, I'm not.
Hey, y'all, a lot of time, I know it's a lot of people probably want us to dig more into this, and they probably say, hey, y'all, you know, keep hitting them with this. But, you know, I'm going to go from the book of Jay-Z. You know, I dumbed down my lyrics and doubled my dollars. They criticize me for it, yet they all holler. Truth told, if skill sold, I'll probably be lyrically Talib Kweli. Truthfully, I wanted to rhyme like common sense, but I did 5 million, and I've been rhyming like common sense. So all that is saying is, look, sometimes I give you a little bite size. We giving bite size pieces. Jay give you bite size pieces. You know, I give you $1 million a game for $9.99. We'll give you $1 million worth of game for $9.99 for free. This was free.
Free.
Free. For real. So y'all can tune in anytime. We ain't gonna beat you over the head with it, but the truth you gonna hear. This is full disclosure. We not gonna it's straight no chaser. But the thing is, you know, KRS-One said a long time ago, nobody want to be preached to. But at the same time, people love the truth.
Yeah.
So we joke, we laugh, but it's a lot of truth you're gonna hear in this. And I believe this is what people hear. I mean, we just a little show, but people come to this for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I want y'all to share this video. If you got anything out of this, share it. You know, we go to our YouTube channel. Y'all, please click on our YouTube channel, subscribe. It's The Full Disclosure Show. That's the name of it. Please go to YouTube, check it out, share, you know, post this on Instagram, pick a little 50-second segments, and y'all post it, whatever you like. Everything, you know, it's things that probably been negative to people that they could take something good away from. You know, it's negativity that you can take good away from. With that being said, I think we should go into the social media post of the week. Y'all watching Full Disclosure. You got your man Big D on the end, lady of the house Lisa Burnett, and you got your man Baba Big Green.
What's up, Motown? Motown?
You know, Jackie Austin, thank you for joining us. Hey, y'all, thanks everybody for coming in. Hey, I ain't forget you, Ray Sean, brother Ray Sean, my man Arias Netter Hotep. You know, people just who were part of the African Village when we started. You know, brother Ray Hagens. You know, he helped a lot of people get into consciousness. Yeah. Ashwar Kwesi was going on. My man Cyrus Musetti. You know, just people, you know, who've been putting it down for years. You know, is over time, let's just start shouting them out. And even X-Clan, you know what I'm saying? Brother Jay, you know what I'm saying? My man, y'all just don't know. You know, KRS-One, people who have put us on consciously, you know what I'm saying? They were telling us this a long time ago. But now we got to talk about things that's kind of mundane, things that have nothing to do with nothing. I was on the internet this week, and I have a question for y'all, people watching. It said, ladies, they had a girl, she was voluptuous, thick sister. She just hit the lottery. She won like $70 million or whatever. And she tell you, she's like, look, I like your man. I want to take your man to Monte Carlo with me. I'm going to give you $100,000, but I want your man to spend a week with me. And it said, ladies, would you let him go?
Yes.
So that's my question. Ladies, if a lady hit the lottery and she like, look, girl, I'm gonna give you $100,000. I want to take your man on this trip with me. You know what's going down, but you know you're gonna be compensated. Would you mind? So let me put this on here while Lisa, you answer that question. If a woman offer you $100,000 to spend a week with your man out the country, would you let him do it?
No.
Why not?
Because for me personally, my feelings and my love for my man is worth more than money. You can give me all this money, but when you come home, now I'm gonna feel some type of way. Now I'm gonna feel hostile. Now I'm gonna feel insecure because in my mind, if we thinking, well, if you did it with that one, who's to say you ain't gonna do it with the next free chick? Or is this gonna be a problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to start feeling insecure. So for me, it wouldn't work. But I can understand why some women may be okay with this because there's different levels in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we just dating, we just get to know each other, you go ahead and do what you do. But that's my money. But if we deep in a relationship, we done been together for quite some time and been through some things, then no.
What she offer you $500,000?
No. I mean, me personally, I can't feel comfortable with now. We all going together. We all going together as a
shit. Now he gonna love that. Wait. It's going down.
We all go together, and I want the money. I want the money, and we all go together.
You know what? That's a real ass answer.
Okay.
That's a real ass answer.
Right.
Did my answer go up there? Oh yeah, it went up there.
Okay.
My wife said 1 million. Terry Sanders said his wife said $1 million. So D, a dude offer you $100,000 to take your girl on a 1 week vacation with him. You know what's up. Would you do it?
And I wouldn't do it. I mean, especially if I'm valuing the relationship, because my assumption is, okay, she ain't coming back. I mean, so it's like, is this $100,000 worth my relationship? In my mind, it's like, nah, she ain't coming back. So it's
$500,000.
It's worth that.
Yeah.
Because there's no way she's coming back. I'm like, oh, okay, sayonara.
And then make you think.
Hey, y'all call in 216-236-5032.
If a guy offers my man the opportunity, give you $100,000, whatever, and your man say no, but then she get mad. Like, what you mean you ain't gonna let me go? Why I can't go to such and such, such and such? Now you thinking like, why you so upset about it? I thought you loved me. I thought we was in this together. You my wife, you my whatever,
The pimp side of me come out. Hold on now.
Right.
Black and all that other shit. But she arguing. I'm like, well, shit, baby, that's what you want to do. By the time she get back, I'll be gone. I'll be gone about this mud. Hey, what Alicia said, it's not about offering the 100 racks. I'll be more interested in his response. That's a grown ass man. But Alicia, come on, girl. Come on, now.
I mean, you
gave the deal away for free.
You can't say yes, man. If you upset, if you serious and you with somebody, you can't say yes.
But
you know what I mean? You can't say.
You saw like somebody dating.
I'm saying you can, but you have to. Like I said, I mean, I joke like, well, she ain't coming back, but you really have to. You really put your relationship at risk. I mean, because all seriousness, you open up a can of worms. It's like that. The movie with Woody Harrelson and them.
Indecent Proposal.
They kind of explored that. Like once you open up Pandora's, once you open up Pandora's box, you don't know how you're gonna react.
But that was
nice to have that $500,000 to fall back on. But
okay, let's up it to $1 million. $1 million. A woman said, "I'm gonna give you $1 million to spend a week with your man." What you gonna do?
Yeah.
His ass gone. I don't care what woman lie.
I promise you, I ain't gonna hit it, baby.
I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it as soon as I do it.
I got a question. Okay, so she's like, okay, well, you can go, but you gotta let me go and sleep with my ex, or you gotta let me sleep with the neighbor, or whatever. If you go with this chick,
how much money is the neighbor or the ex giving?
But I'm saying because
okay. In a discussion. In a discussion. Look, if I'm gonna tell you this, Indecent Proposal, a man offered me $1 million would be my if my wife ever want to know what she cost me $1 million. So I agree with Cassandra Sanders. Because I gotta pay a mortgage. I still got, a few $100,000 on that. I still got, my daughter's student loans and my other daughter's student loan, my son going to college. I got some things to pay. I'm being realistic, man. I'm grown. I'm grown.
Take real talk.
Real talk, man. You know what? I think people fuck around for free. So if somebody offer you a little bit of money to do it, you might as well get paid. And, right now, I don't know what y'all talking about. I love you.
I thought I knew you.
I love you.
I thought I knew you.
Your ass be gone. $1 million? Come get this motherfucker. You know what? I got his ass too for a bonus. Just in case you get drunk enough.
We thought we knew who you were.
You want some fun. Honestly, I know what I'm supposed to say, but, I'm realistic. Somebody, 100,000 ain't enough for me to lose my dignity. $1 million we can start. Like, we're going, man. Well, Cashier shit?
Give me the money right now. Give it to me right now.
I want the money in the bank. Now, cuff his balls, babe. You treat him right. You know?
Like, babe, with $1 million, I could buy you new feelings.
She ain't swallow? Oh, hell no. You
I could buy you some dignity.
No, nobody know. If I had $100,000,
move to another country.
Hey, my one time said if he had $100,000, he'd buy land. And Terry Sanders said, "Does the viewing audience know who Lisa Mann is?" Hey, okay, you trying to stir the pot up there, Terry? Is that Deuce's Alicia? What Alicia say? What Teresa say? I know Teresa said something crazy. Go to the doctor, bring a clean bill of health, and a souvenir bag. Give me my money first, and if you don't come back, well, it was fun while it lasted. That's a real ass answer. People ain't being honest with themselves. $1 million, really? Yo, ego that big? Come on. I'm gonna die. Shit. There's a lot of people out here do it for $600 worth of food stamps right now. Give me your EBT card, girl. Shit, I got a refrigerator full. She want to fuck my man. He been fucking a bitch around the corner for free.
Hey, man, I saw the man you talking about. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like, damn, what she wanted? She wanted $5,000 for me.
Was she fine? No, I ain't gonna lie. When the girl in the thing was fine. Come on, man. Ain't gonna be nobody that
I'm
fine.
still like, she's a man.
She was thinking of the same. She's a man. She's a man. Okay, wait. Now wait. We gotta read this. We in this to go. Ain't no renegotiate. We in this. Hold on, just draw. Hey, Kevin, what's going on? Kevin. So the question is, let's just up it, because 100,000 ain't enough. We gonna just say $1 million. Somebody offer you $1 million to take your significant other on a vacation with them to Monte Carlo. You already know they want everything, but they giving you $1 million. They like, look, I want your man, I want your woman, I want to spend a week with her, I want to spend a week with him. We doing everything, but I got you. You know, I ain't trying to play you out. You know, I want to make sure you're taken care of, you're well compensated. Lisa says she got to be able to go. I don't know. That's hard. So you gonna watch them do it, or you know? Damn, he get a bonus. He get both of y'all.
I didn't say that.
Shit, let it be known. Hey, call in.
You going to Monte Carlo? I want to go to Monte Carlo. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, shout out to Rhonda Brown, Rainbow. She won a trip to Monte Carlo. She brought me in on this business. This girl, she done did it. You know, I didn't even know what Monte Carlo is. I had to go pull it up on a map, and that's real talk. You know, French Riviera, I definitely want to go. I got like $72,000 to go to get it, but I'm going to get it. That just shows your tenacity, sis. I love you. All right, y'all, call in. We want to know. This the social media question of the week. For $1 million, would you let your significant other go spend a week vacation with somebody else? Now, D, why wouldn't you do it? No, you said when I was 100,000, it's $1 million now. What did you say?
You said it's $1 million now?
It's $1 million.
It's up to $1 million.
It's up to $1 million. Let's just get it. Let's get out the way. 100,000 ain't enough for most of us. I was sold at like 10,000, but go ahead. See, people don't want to be. Look, I say it. $1 million right there. Come on, you can do a lot more with that. And then I could. You know, like they said though, somebody can give $1 million. She ain't coming back because if he can spend $1 million on you to get to your man. He done bought both of y'all.
I mean, this woman is taking you to Morocco. She done dropped.
What's up, TC?
She done dropped your woman $1 million to take you to Morocco. Oh, it's over with. If that's happening, it's over with.
No, man, they gonna know you for no money though.
Well, not man. This here.
Now, Oprah.
If it ain't over with, then y'all gonna have that $1 million and everything's gonna be cool. But there's not. I don't know if you can be able to get past. I don't know. I don't know if you can get past.
That's your business. Ain't nobody else.
I mean, I'm not talking about nobody else. I'm talking about between you.
But what would be the difference? Why would you accept you and your significant other having a threesome?
Of course, I accept it.
Yeah.
I want it.
So, that's what I want.
When I accept
that's
it,
my point. You know what I'm saying? You'll go and have a threesome.
Wait, you talking about two girls and a guy, right?
It does. Well, for a guy, 2 girls.
Yeah.
And a guy.
Yeah.
But
what's the problem?
You know what I'm saying? What's the problem? You can accept that. That's okay.
Hey, y'all, this full disclosure. We don't want to go this deep, y'all.
She
tripping, y'all.
You want to have a threesome. She wanted to have a threesome, and she wanted you to watch her having sex with her ex. You ain't gotta join, but you gotta watch her fucking her ex. You know what I'm saying?
Motown said, he said, would that be like hoeing? Of course it'd be hoeing, but it'd be hoeing to the millionth degree.
But you can accept the free
Ain't a hoe making $1 million.
Right.
What's up, Kevin?
What you're giving you $1 million and going on a vacation having sex with some woman.
Hey, yo, we're going to end the show right here. Because y'all going way too deep. But this is just a fun subject. When I do my social media posts, I want it to be fun. We talk deep enough. I don't want it to take away from the gravity of the show that we had. The fact that we talked about Black liberation, knowing yourself. Tell them about the book again. It's the book of the month.
It's by Richard Williams. It's called They Stole It and You Must Return It.
Please tell them what they're watching, Lisa.
You are now watching the Full Disclosure Show.
Who on this show, Lisa? Tell them who on the show.
Me, the little lady in the house. We got Derek Ma and Bubba Wade Gaston.
That's it. Hey, y'all, we thank y'all for joining us. We went over our time. We had an hour and a half. Hopefully you loving this. If you looking at us on Facebook, y'all, please hit the subscribe button. We need subscribers. We love y'all. We're going to bring more things. Give us some suggestions. Y'all, if you want to email us and you got some topics for the show, hit us up at thefulldisclosure@gmail.com. Once again, what is that?
thefulldisclosure@gmail.com.
Y'all email us some topics in. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Derek, take us out, bro.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for the comments. Please share the video. Go on. Did you hit them with the YouTube channel?
YouTube channel once again is The Full Disclosure Show. That is on YouTube.
Go on YouTube, man. Share
hit the
video. Check it out if you missed it. Watching this YouTube. And thanks again. And we out.
All right. We love y'all.
We still.